Hello and welcome to another segment of The Fitness Whisperer. Thanks for joining me. So last week I got an email from a viewer requesting or asking me to talk about stress and anxiety and how it affects people, and if I had any suggestions on how people can go about dealing with stress and anxiety. So after reading the email, I thought it would be a pretty good and important subject to talk about. I mean, we all as adults have some form of stress and anxiety in our life on a daily basis. I mean, it doesn't exactly disappear. It never does. It kind of just speeds up or slows down, or it comes in waves, right? So today we're going to talk about that. So I'm first going to talk about different methods that you can do to address or to treat stress and anxiety. And then I'm going to touch on diet aspect of it and how by changing your diet and eating certain foods, it will actually help your coping mechanisms. It's not going to completely make stress and anxiety disappear, but it will definitely help with your coping mechanisms. So we'll do it in that order. One way people can deal with stress, so breathe, practice some breathing. That's one excellent way of dealing with stress and anxiety. Another very effective way, this also is based on your environment and where you live. Where I live here in Toronto, I live in the beautiful city of Mississauga. There's a lot of green space around here, a lot of parks. So if you, and I mean, you don't even have to be in a green space, but if you happen to be close to a park or anything to that effect, just go out for a walk. You know, if you're in an environment where there's trees and there's flowers, it alters the brain. It creates a chemical and it actually brings down your level of stress as well. So if you're not in a green space, that's fine. If you can get out and go for a walk, you know, a 5 or 10 minute walk, very leisurely. You're not power walking here. It's not about, you know, bringing up your heart rate and you know, getting to a certain level that way. It's not about that at all. Go out for a nice leisurely walk. That's another very effective way of bringing down your stress. If walking is not possible, and if you're close to a mall or a market, just go to the mall, you know, sit at the food court or sit at one of those benches and just sit there and people watch. People watching is excellent. It deviates your mind from whatever issue you're thinking about, and it also helps you to deal with your stress and anxiety as well, right? So practice some breathing techniques, go out for a little nature walk or go out for a walk, or just go down to the mall or, you know, sit at a bench outside and just people watch for 5 or 10 minutes, right? And the idea behind this is to just make sure that you're consistent. If you can keep this up, the walking or going to the mall and people watching 2 or 3 times a week, that would be very, very beneficial. If you can actually do it for 5 to 7 days a week, that would be great as well. But it's all about making the effort. I mean, it's not going to solve the problem, like I said, in the short term, but it's all about being repetitive and being consistent, right? So just to stay consistent, 2 to 3 days a week, going out for a walk for 10 or 15 minutes is not unrealistic, right? So find the time and just do it and take care of yourself. It will definitely help. So that's another great way as well. So I just explained 3 basic techniques that you can do that will help you deal with stress and anxiety. Another very effective way, and it's a huge fad, it's actually been very big over the last few years, are adult coloring books. I mean, there's all kinds of different types of coloring books for adults out there. You can find them on Amazon or you know, certain bookstores. But coloring is another very, very effective way of dealing with stress. It really just brings down your level of stress if you just start to color. So coloring is very effective as well. So if you have a little bit of an artistic edge, or even if you don't know how to draw, if your idea of drawing a figure is a stick man, then so be it. Adult coloring books are very effective. They already have little patterns and designs in the book. You just need to go ahead and fill them in with some color. And by doing so, it'll go a long way in helping your stress and anxiety level as well. So yes, I'm a very big fan of adult coloring books. And if you are interested in that, just go do some research. There's all types of different kinds. I'm not going to promote any book here on my channel. Just go on Amazon and you'll find all types of different adult coloring books. And yeah, if you can find 5 or 10 minutes in the evening or during the day to do a little bit of coloring, that will help as well. Very effective. So those are some basic techniques that you can do. that will go a long way in helping you deal with your stress and anxiety, and it'll also help you with your coping mechanisms as well. So those are some practical examples. Now, I did mention a couple of videos ago the importance of detoxifying the liver. So I'm going to talk about the liver as well. The liver is a very important organ that we have in the body. And the reason I bring up the liver is because the liver is what creates hormones. So stress is actually a hormone that's created in the liver. So what happens is if you do not detoxify or flush out all those hormones in your liver, it just stays there. So we all know people who can get angry, or their anxiety level shoots up at anything. A plate drops, or the music is playing too loud, or someone cuts them off on the road, right? They just freak out. And that's because their stress level hormone in their liver is so high, it does not take much to initiate it. So what I really strongly suggest for people out there, even if you're not one of those people that I just talked about, is to detoxify your liver. There's many different ways to detoxify your liver, but what that will do for you in the long run is flush out a lot of those unwanted hormones that you and your body do not need, and you'll be able to actually feel a hell of a lot better. So I'm going to talk about different foods that you can consume that will help detoxifying the liver as well. So one of my favorite methods of detoxifying the liver is apple cider vinegar. Now, if you haven't heard of apple cider vinegar, it has many homeopathic positive properties in it that could actually help with all kinds of different ailments. But today I'm just going to talk about detoxifying the liver. And the way you administer apple cider vinegar to detoxify the liver is first thing in the morning, pour a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. You want to make sure that it's unfiltered. Pour that, mix that in with a glass of water, and just drink it. Do that every day, every morning. 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar mixed with some water, and just drink that. The apple cider vinegar, the properties in the apple cider vinegar flushes out a lot of the hormones once it passes through the liver. And that goes a long way in getting rid of those unwanted built up hormones that are just sitting there. So that's one effective way. Another great thing that you can do to detoxify the liver is just eat sour foods. So Macintosh apples, for example, you know those sour apples? Eat one of those a day. Eat 1 sour apple a day. The properties in the apple will go a long way in detoxifying the liver as well. Sauerkraut is excellent. That's another great way to detoxify the liver. Brussels sprouts is another great food that you can use to detoxify the liver. What else could we talk about? We can talk about carrots. Carrots are an excellent way as well to detoxify the liver, right? So just by altering, and everything that I just mentioned before I continue, all the foods that I just mentioned are actually good for you anyways, right? So try to incorporate some of those. The apple cider vinegar, of course, if you don't have it, not everyone does, you might have to go out and buy that. But apples and carrots, Brussels sprouts, sauerkraut, those are foods that people consume anyways. I think the problem is that people don't eat enough of those food products. So try to incorporate at least one of those foods or 2 of those foods every week into your diet, and that will go a long way in detoxifying your liver. And in doing so, it will drastically bring down all those stress hormones that are just sitting there in the liver, right? So get on it and go ahead and purchase some of those foods, the apple cider vinegar, like I said, and take care of yourself. You'll find in the long term that your temper will be a lot more stable. You're not going to be one of those people that goes off at the drop of a dime. You'd be a lot more equipped to cope with anything that comes your way, and your level of anxiety won't be as high. Give it some time. Stick to what I talked about over the next 2 or 3 or 4 months, and you will feel like a completely different person. Guaranteed. Okay? So fairly short video today. That's all I wanted to talk about. Like I said in the onset, I know stress, especially in this day and age, is a public health issue. It's huge. Stress is very prevalent in our society today. People are being pulled in all types of different directions. There's all types of different stress, health, financial. There's it's across the board, right? So the examples that I just talked to you about today are just some things that you can do to not completely get rid of stress, but it will definitely go a long way in helping you cope with stress when it comes your way, and it will also help you with your anxiety levels as well. Okay. Now there's one other food that I forgot to mention, and last but not least, and that is beets. The purple pigmentation in beets, once that gets broken down in the body and it passes through the liver, that purple pigmentation is also an excellent way. It flushes out a lot of the hormones and the toxins in the liver as well. So if you like beets, excellent. If you don't like beets, treat it as medicine. It's all about dealing with your stress. It's going to go a long way in detoxifying the liver as well, okay? And that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys will take some notes from this video and incorporate it into your everyday life. You know, you owe it to yourself. Take care of yourself. You'll feel a lot better, okay? So that is it. So once again, I'd like to thank the viewers for sending me the emails. I appreciate it. I do try to get through to all of them and read all of them, as many as I can. And once I do come across an interesting subject matter like this one, I'm compelled to, you know, to talk about it and try to give everybody my opinion on any particular subject matter. So that's excellent. And also, if you like everything that you're hearing here today and you want to continue following me, just hit the subscribe button and subscribe, and you can follow me or watch all of my videos. And also, I'm also on Twitter. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me at The Fitness Whisperer. Or if you want to send me some emails, you can email me at thefitnesswhisperer_7@gmail.com. So once again, folks, thanks for watching, and bye for now.